From deadly dinosaurs and giant turtles to a penguin the size of Lebron James, here are 20 terrifying prehistoric creatures.
This is Throwback Thursdays.
Hey, Craft Galleon, thanks a lot for the nice comments. We might have to frame that one. We're glad you're with us and that you're enjoying the content. And we appreciate all that epic subscriber support. Be sure to let us know what you think about this episode in the comments below. Cheers. Number 20. Hallucigenia. This animal is known from fossils found in China and Canada. Its odd name is a reference to its hallucinatory appearance. They were tubular creatures about 3.5 centimeters long with up to 8 pairs of legs that each had a pair of claws. Another 3 sets of pincers were located behind the legs. They had no sensory organs like eyes or ears, and while they're most often considered to be a type of worm, some experts think they're more like arthropods. Anomalocarius. These marine creatures are close relations to ancestral arthropods and were most likely predators. Its name means abnormal shrimp, and measuring more than 1 meter long, they would have been giant shrimp as well. The most notable physical characteristic may have been their eyes. Located on stalks, their compound eyes were comprised of around 16,000 lenses, thought to be the most advanced eyes of any species in its time. Entelodon. These prehistoric pig-like mammals were devout carnivores, unlike their present-day relatives. Standing more than 4 feet tall at the shoulder, the beasts were almost the size of an adult human. It had a fearsome appearance that was accentuated by a long, wide head and huge cheekbones that bulged noticeably from the sides of its head. And although the critters were related to pigs, they may have been even more closely related to whales and hippos. Andrewsarchus. It was identified by a single skull found in Mongolia in 1923. There's still some mystery about the land-dwelling mammal, which is thought to be related to entelodonts, whales, and hippos, and it lived around 45 million years ago. From the skull, experts have extrapolated that the animal would have been around 6 feet high at the shoulder and 12 feet long, and some paleontologists have estimated the critter's weight at around some 4,000 pounds. Now, if that is verified, it could make Andrewsarchus among the largest terrestrial mammal predators of all time. Birria. Now, if you're squeamish about millipedes or centipedes, you can give thanks. This creature is extinct. It was similar to today's arthropods, but with a big difference. Certain members of its genus could measure over 3 feet long. Modern-day centipedes are known to prey on animals as large as bats. So, what do you think this monster dined on? Pelagoris sandesi. Here's an extinct species of flying critter that had an estimated wingspan of up to 24 feet. Now, if that estimate holds up, it would make the animal the largest flying bird yet discovered. Because the creatures could weigh nearly 90 pounds, researchers were surprised that this bird could fly at all. It likely did so by hopping off cliff edges and allowing the wind currents from the ocean to keep it aloft as it glided over the water. Utahraptor, growing to around 10 to 15 inches long. Many of us think millipedes are scary enough to begin with, but can you imagine a millipede measuring some 7 feet long? Now that's horror movie stuff. But Utahraptor was an ancestor of those invertebrates, and experts say they could grow to around 8 feet long or more. Because it could also measure several feet wide, its massive size alone was enough to discourage most predators. Researchers say this is the largest species of land invertebrate yet discovered. But despite its size, fossilized evidence has revealed it could move quickly to swerve and avoid rocks and trees on the forest floor. And even though it appeared fearsome enough to be a predator itself, the creature was actually herbivorous. It ranged from present-day Scotland to North America. Quetzalcoatlus. This pterosaur is one of the largest flying creatures ever known to have existed. Fossils were first discovered in 1971 in Texas at Big Bend National Park. Those remains were dated back around 68 million years. That fossil indicated a specimen with a wingspan of around 30 feet and weighing some 300 pounds. Experts today think the flying reptiles could have weighed as much as 550 pounds. Its name was inspired by Quetzalcoatl, the Mesoamerican feathered serpent god. Did you know that researchers have determined these pterosaurs could fly at altitudes of 15,000 feet, and that's while traveling at speeds of 80 miles per hour for up to 10 days straight? giant-sized sea scorpion. Growing to more than 8 feet long, this is said to be the largest known arthropod yet discovered. The species J. renani had pincers that exceeded 18 inches in length, and it lived around 390 million years ago. Its great size also makes it the largest known eurypterid found to date, and that's a group of animals related to present-day scorpions and land spiders. Its size also suggests that it was an apex predator in its freshwater habitat, preying on arthropods and fish. Caprasus. This extinct genus of crocodilians was identified from a single skull found in Africa and was thought to be around 11 feet long. Its unusually large teeth resemble those of a boar, hence the name, which means boar crocodile. Those tusk-like teeth protrude from above and below the skull, something not seen with any other crocodilian. Experts think it was a terrestrial predator that could open the jaws quickly with a wide gape and then snap them shut with a powerful bite force. Edistus. The creatures in this genus of fish are known only from the teeth, and they were some pretty scary choppers. Experts think the sharp serrated teeth would have resembled an enormous pair of pinking shears in the critter's mouth. It's presumed they were carnivorous, and it's theorized they could have used their bizarre array of teeth to slash and wound its prey before swallowing its victim. They grew to about the size of today's great white shark, but instead of losing worn teeth, these creatures could continuously grow new teeth and gums. Carbonomes. This extinct genus of turtle lived around 60 million years ago and were apparently tough enough to survive the KT extinction event that took out most of the dinosaurs. Judging from fossils discovered in Colombia, it would have had a shell measuring more than 5.5 feet, placing it among the world's largest turtles. The carnivorous creature had massive jaws that were powerful enough to chew up crocodiles. Titanoboa, meaning Titanic boa. This is the giant snake that lived around 60 million years ago. Its weight has been estimated at around 2,500 pounds, and it was thought to measure around 40 feet or more. Those estimates would make it the longest, largest, and heaviest snake of all time. It preyed on giant crocodiles and turtles. Giant penguins. Now, the emperor penguin is the largest penguin you'll find nowadays, and they do go an impressive 4 feet tall and weigh up to 100 pounds. But did you know, some 37 million years ago, there was a terrifying species of the birds that stood nearly 7 feet tall and weighed some 250 pounds. That's according to estimates made from the fossils found in Antarctica. Now, to put that in perspective, this critter was about the size of Lebron James, although this big bird might have preferred hockey more than hoops. But can you imagine a penguin that huge? KAM-er-uh-sare-us. While this is considered to be one of the largest, if not the largest, cephalopods to have ever existed, there are only estimates as to its upper body size. But those estimates have ranged up to 30 feet. Related to modern octopuses and squids, it lived around 470 million years ago and had a huge cone-like shell and tentacles that were used to capture prey like fish and other sea creatures. Helicoprion. Now, this bizarre critter swam in the oceans of the early Permian period some 290 million years ago. They could grow over 24 feet long, although there's evidence to suggest that some species could have grown longer, maybe up to 40 feet long. It gets the nickname the spiral saw due to fossils that display an unusual tooth whorl that is reminiscent of a circular saw. Paleontologists still debate exactly how the creature fed itself. One popular theory states that Helicoprion used its flexible whip-like jaw and lashed it into schools of fish, then retrieved the prey it had impaled. But there's still disagreement over where the creature would store its lower jaw when it wasn't feeding, and that has led to many different artists' renditions of the beast. Its fossils have been found in Asia, Australia, and North America. Megalodon. Well, this one basically needs no introduction, but its name, Megalodon, does translate to big tooth, and this monster had a mouthful of them. The ancient shark measured some 60 feet long and weighed an incredible 114 tons. Experts say the big beast would have resembled today's great white shark. They lived up until some 1.5 million years ago, and that, many would say, is close enough. Utahraptor. While the velociraptor might get all the publicity, the Utahraptor was the biggest raptor, and it arrived on the scene first during the early Cretaceous period. It could weigh over 1,000 pounds and reach lengths of 23 feet, about the size of a polar bear, and those fearsome hind claws could measure over 9 inches long. Now, did you guess that fossils of this creature were actually found in Utah? Spinosaurus. The name of this towering theropod means spine lizard, and it's a reference to the 5.5-foot long spines growing from its back vertebrae. With a length exceeding 50 feet and weighing more than 20 tons, this creature was one of the largest known carnivorous dinosaurs, and that includes T-Rex. With a crocodilian-like skull, it would have resembled today's reptiles. And like crocs, they lived in the land and water, and may have been able to swim. They lived around 93 million years ago in present-day North Africa. Mosasaurus. So, if you saw Jurassic World a few years back, you'll likely remember the Mosasaurus. That critter seemed to be the real breakout star. So, when we saw this picture, we thought maybe it was from a video game, or maybe somebody got clever with the Photoshop, until we realized it was actually a scene from Jurassic World. And that's the epic wildlife way of segueing into letting you know that mosasaurs were actually marine reptiles. Like plesiosaurs, they were not technically dinosaurs. But this critter was likely the biggest of the lot, measuring around 60 feet long and resembled a present-day crocodile. They would have used their powerful fin-like tails to chase down prey, and after catching it in the massive jaws, the creature's huge teeth would have shredded the capture. Mosasaurus lived until around 66 million years ago, and the fossils have been found everywhere on Earth except for Antarctica.
This is Throwback Thursdays.